All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out a little bit of yellow Enel. Okay, Sky Island Enel here. And the list I'm going to be running today is OP08. It's nothing fancy. It's a pretty standardized list, I think. I've just kind of made my own little tweaks to it. But this is one of those leaders, guys, that I will say, I know a lot of people have a lot of complaints for this leader. You know, this is one of those leaders that has an effect that feels like it cheats you. Like it feels like it's cheating you out of a win. But hey, it is what it is. And I'll tell you one thing. It is a leader that is not doing insanely well right now in OP08 or OP09, at least not currently at the time you're recording this video. Who knows what happens in the future. But so we know it's not broken, right? I guess that's where I was going with that. But anyway, we're going to be checking out this leader. And one more thing I want to say is anytime you're struggling with a specific matchup, because I will say this, guys, like on Discord and at locals and things like that, I've talked to many different people about this leader, and it's very divisive, right? It's a very polarizing leader where some people really like the leader and some people can't stand it or hate it, right? Whatever the case is, one of the best ways to get better against a certain leader is actually to play that leader. I know it sounds crazy, and hey, the nice thing about being on the sim, like, you don't have to buy the cards to play the leader. Because of the guys over there at who make the sim with Batsu, those guys have done such an incredible job. You can just try it out for free on the sim. So that way you can get an idea of like, oh, okay, in this situation he's actually very weak, or in this matchup it's very rough, or against this or against that it does this, that, and the other. Okay, guys, so let's keep an open mind. Let's try and figure this out. And I want to know what you guys think about it now in the comment section below. Let's just please keep it respectful, okay? Is this a leader you really like, or is this a leader you really can't stand? Maybe because of triggers and the way his leader ability works and things like that. And one more thing I do want to mention before we dive into this is we are going to see quite a few play mistakes from our opponent in today's video. And I will try to point those out, guys. I'll try and give you guys a heads up, like some tips on how to fight against Enel. Okay, it's not to say you can win every game against Enel. Sometimes Enel just high rolls and does better, or sometimes you might get a bricked hand. It happens. But I'll try and give you guys some pointers on what to look out for. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead and dive into this video. Let me give you a quick layout. First things first, we're going to be heading over to the lab, and we're going to be checking out a game of Red Yellow Sabo, my favorite. You can see the hand down at the bottom left, right? We'll be checking out a game of Red Yellow Sabo versus Purple Kaido. Okay, that should be very interesting. We'll see what we can learn from that. And then after that, we will head over to OnePieceTopDecks.com, and we're going to check out an Enel list that did very well in a larger tournament in OP08. Excuse me. From there, we will head over to the sim, and we will do 3 games. We'll check out 3 games on the sim of me piloting Enel, and then we will wrap up by me showing you the deck list that I'm running, and we'll talk about it from there, and we'll finish out like that. All right, guys, you know what you're getting into. I will have everything time-stamped down in the general description, and I will have all relevant lists and deck links, or any links and deck lists in the comment section below. I kind of messed that up, but y'all know what I mean by now, I'm sure. Okay, now let's go ahead and hop over to the VV Lab. So, for any of the new listeners out there, any of the new viewers, first of all, welcome, of course, to the channel, if there are any new ones out there for this video. What is the lab, you might be asking yourself? Well, as you can see in the background here, this is a game on the sim. Now, what's special about this game is this is not me playing. Typically, I'll show you gameplay of me playing. But on the lab, this is me basically analyzing, reviewing a game, gameplay from people in the community. If you are interested in me reviewing your gameplay, and if you see how I block out the names, you have nothing to worry about, nothing like that to worry about. If you want me to review one of your games, no problem. All you have to do is record it. Most people use OBS for that, and then once you record it, upload it to YouTube. That's complete. Everything I said is completely free. The sim is free. OBS is free, uploading to YouTube is free, and once you upload to YouTube, all you have to do is hop on the VV Theory Discord and go under the Review My Games folder, or the Review My Games channel, and then post the link to the video in there, and as soon as I see it, I give you a thumbs up showing that I saw it, and I throw it in line. It's that simple, guys. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask in the comment section below if you're struggling with something, or just hop on the Discord. That's probably the best way to get stuff answered. Okay, now let's go ahead and dive into this game. Let me check real quick. The volume is off. The speed is on 2x, and we are at high quality. Let's do this, guys. All right, so we got a game here of Red Yellow Sabo versus Purple Kaido. Now, the Kaido is going to go first. Hang on one second. Let me see something. So the Red Yellow Sabo won the dice roll. Excuse me. and they got to choose to go first or second, and the Sabo chose to go second. I do like that. However, notice what's in our hand. Gidatsu and Nami are very strong plays on curve on our 5-Dawn turn, and they're able to easily snipe a 4-cost character, typically speaking. But going second is still very solid. I would just be careful with, going against Purple Kaido. They probably want to go first and get a stage down immediately. Now, they might not have gotten one, or who knows what kind of deck they're running, but that is something to look out for. But I still think it's always fine going second as Red Yellow Sabo. So that's what happened. So, and then turn 1, Kaido played out the event, doing a top 5 search for I think it's a Big Mom Pirates or Animal Kingdom Pirates card. And now it is the Sabo's turn, and they drew a card pass. That's one thing we have to look out for in the future, guys, is a turn 1 play for Red Yellow Sabo. Okay, so Kaido's gonna swing for 5. I do think we need to counter out pretty aggressively, but we're not going to. Pause. So real quick, always consider your matchup. Number 1, okay, so there's a lot of things I want to say real quick. If you're playing Red Yellow Sabo and you're playing the 5-cost Namis, remember you want to counter out pretty aggressively, so that way, number 1, your life total stays high, and it allows you to go down in hand size so you can get the full effect from your 5-cost Nami. Because that card says, activate, it's on play. It's a 5-cost character on play. You trash a card with trigger from your hand. And then, if you have 3 or less cards in your hand, you draw a card. So you're not really trashing a card now. Now you're just cycling out a new card. So that is something to really pay attention to. Now, you can still use the effect if you have more than 3 cards in your hand, but then you don't get to cycle the card and get the full value from its effect. And that's why countering out early is actually very, very important for this leader. And for one other reason, notice who we're playing against. We're playing against a Purple Kaido who can literally, like their leader effect is activate main once per turn, return 7 Dawn cards from their field to their Dawn deck, and trash the top card of your opponent's life. So that is something we have to take into consideration. Okay, now, let's get back to the game. And here we go. They're going to do it right on turn 2. So right away, that's why I think it would have been better to counter out early. They played out a Black Maria, and it took our top card off our life immediately. Okay, let's see if we can come back from this, guys. Let's see if we... And this is a very rough situation. We're going to swing for 5. Let's see if they take it. Okay, just waiting on our opponent to choose. They're going to give us a 1k counter, not taking any cards from life yet. That's actually very strange to me. I would have taken this hit if I were the Purple Kaido, but that's just me. Swinging in for 8, okay. I would, well, okay, if we counter out aggressively, that's not the worst thing in the world because it will turn on our Nami's effect, like for full potential. We take it, very nice. We do get a trigger for Cracker. And do they want to use the Black Maria again? Okay. They did want to use it again. Oh, man, look what our last life was, Pauls. Okay, guys, our last life was a you're the one who should disappear. That is unfortunate. But, hey, it happens. It is what it is. Now, we're not in the worst situation here because let's see if let me see the play we can do here. Well, no, okay, yeah, we don't have to worry about it. So in this specific situation here, we can play. I don't know I don't pre-watch these games, guys, so I have no idea what's about to happen. But hear me out. If I was the Sabo player, we can very easily pop this Black Maria on the board with our Nami, and it's gone. And they will only be on 3 Dawn next turn. Okay, so if they added all their Dawn to their leader, they can only swing for 8. We don't have to gain a life, and then we could stay aggressive. So that is definitely something to consider, for this turn. Let's see if they choose to do that. There are other options as well. Like we can swing for 7 at life with the Cracker, which will have double attack. And then we can push him to life for just a 1 Dawn investment. So let's see what happens. Okay, so here we go. Excuse me. Oh, and we can also, excuse me, hang on. There's a much better play. I'm sorry, I don't know, before this even happens, why was I not thinking of this? We actually have an incredibly powerful play, and I hope he does this now that I see it. All we have to do is, okay, I guess we're going to swing for 6 first with our leader, it looks like. And then we can attach 1 Dawn to Cracker, swing for 7 with double attack. It doesn't matter if it goes through or not. But then we're going to push the Cracker back to life because he'll have 7,000 power still. And then we'll give plus 2,000 to Lindbergh, swinging 7 at life again and pop the Black Maria. And then we will still have, in that situation, we would still have 4 Dawn left to develop another body, like a Kikanojo. That would be absolutely incredible, and we'd gain a life. Let's see if they choose to do that. Okay. Oh, no, they're doing some counting here. All right, guys, so hear me out. Cracker has an effect where if you attach one Dawn, if you have less life than your opponent, he gets plus 1,000 power for the, period, plus 1,000 power and double attack. So if we attached one Dawn to the Cracker, we could swing for 7,000 power at our opponent's face with double attack, which would drop him down to 3 life if he took it, or take 2 cards out of hand. It doesn't matter either way, because then we're going to use one Dawn, or excuse me, then we're going to attach a Dawn to our leader that's already attached, push back the Cracker, give plus 2,000 to the, what's his name, the Lindbergh, and smash in for 7, popping the Black Maria, and we'd have 4 Dawn left, like I said. But that's okay. This should work out just fine as well. Okay, swinging for 6. I guess the only thing that could hurt us in that situation is like a trigger. Okay, they did not get a trigger, and that's all that matters. Swing for 7, pop the Black Maria. Very nice. They'll probably 2K, 1K out of this. Okay. 2K, and waiting for them to give a... Oh, double 2K. That's actually relevant information here. Push a card back to life. Yeah, very nice. Okay, just in case there's triggers. Swinging for 11 into 5. And this is with double attack, guys. So that is going through. Boom. There was a trigger, but it was just a Basil Hawkins, not a card we have to worry about. Now, they're at 2... Excuse me, they're going to be at 4 life now, or 4 Dawn, because they got the Basil Hawkins trigger. They got a little bit lucky there, but it doesn't matter because we gained a life, and we could have gotten out of a 9K attack if we needed to anyway, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we could have gotten out of a 10K attack. Swing for 10, 2K counter, absolutely, and we're actually going to wrap this game up next turn, I think, guys. Okay, here we go. So let me pause and see how this goes. This is what I would recommend here. Attach one Dawn to Cracker. He'll be a 7,000 power character because we still have less life than our opponent. And I would actually probably attach 3 Dawn to the Cracker, and I would swing in for 9 with double attack, and then I'd load everything on my leader, gain a life, and smash right into their face with what was left, which would be 410. So it'd be 9K double attack into a 10K. And actually, if he somehow counters out of the double attack, no problem, we can develop another body. All right, so let's see what happens here. This has been a really fun game to watch. I love Red Yellow Sabo, guys. For those who might be new to the channel, okay, we're gonna play the safe route here. Very good. You have to trash a card with the trigger. Very good. And now, okay, wait, save 1 Dawn for our leader effect, right? Thank you. Yes, very good, very good, very good. Okay, swing for. Well, no, so they should just take this, right? Let's see if our opponent knows what they're doing. Yeah, so now our Cracker no longer has double attack, and he doesn't get plus 1,000. So notice the Cracker right here, like pay attention. I'm gonna click backwards and watch his power go down. So right here, when I hit back, look at this. He's at plus 1,000 power because we have less life than our opponent. But if we attack for 6 first with leader, watch this. They just take it, and now we have 1 and 1 life, and now he goes back down. So that was absolutely a play mistake. Let's go and bust out the, we got to bust out the accuracy meter. Not a big deal, but this is why people submit these videos so we can learn from our mistakes. Oh, perfect. Let me actually move the accuracy meter. Notice on the right here, there's the card. Let me see. I have the quality up as high as it will go, guys. Let me hit 1080, see if it adjusts it. I don't know. It looks like it didn't even mess with it at all. Let me go ahead and redo that there. So, okay, Dawn times 1. While you have less life than your opponent, this character gains double attack and plus 1,000 power. So we swung out of order there, and we allowed him to keep an extra card in his life. But hey, that's all right. We're going to swing for 7. Maybe we'll get 2 cards out of their hand. Okay, let's see what happens here. And then I think we should just life the Cracker at the end of turn. They take it. Okay, now we've got them. This is basically checkmate now because next turn we will be on 10 Dawn, and we will have access to Kid and Killer. And if they attack into our life, we get a trigger character into play. They're just in the worst position possible. Okay, let's see what happens here. So I am going to review this game at the end. Once we're done with the game, once we see who wins or loses, we're going to go back and talk about a few things that could have been done differently to really optimize our play. So swinging in for 7 into 5 here, I think we should absolutely take this. Okay, we counter out. That's fine. They're going to make us remove our top card because I would have just taken it to get the triggers. So pause. So right in that situation, they're completely tapped out. They can't do anything else, right? Unless they want to go down to 0 Dawn like this. But here's what we should have done instead. Just take it. We get the Cracker into play. Let him remove our last life. That's fine. We have 10 Dawn this turn. Our opponent has 2 or less life cards. So our Kid and Killer is activated. He is now, his when attacking is plus 2,000. So in this situation, what we would be able to do is play out the Kid and Killer first, swing for 7. That's only a 4 Dawn investment. We're swinging for 7. They have to give us a 2K, 1K, or their blocker. Then we attach a Dawn to our leader. We could push the the Kid Killer back to life, smash in with the Nami for 7 more, because it will get plus 2,000 from the leader effect, pushing the Kid Killer back to life. And then we come in for 7 more, like I said, which is going to be another 2k, 1k, or the blocker. And then we still get to swing with our leader. And if we had taken that Cracker hit, or excuse me, that hit against our life and put Cracker into play, then we've got him, right? We've got him cornered. He just can't get out of all these attacks. It's just not possible, right? And even if he does, it doesn't matter, because guess what? He would eventually have to use the blocker, and he'll have no Dawn. Next turn, he'll have 2 Dawn, swing for 7. That's why we should have saved our counter power, and we could have gotten out of that attack. Okay, so this should be game, though, coming up very soon here. Playing out the Zoro, okay. Why not the Kid Killer? Okay, swing for 7. Okay, are we saving this for Kid Killer? Very good. So swing for 6 first. This is going to cost a 2k counter. Very good. Swing for 7. Absolutely. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking. You know, now we're talking. Swinging for 7 here. So now we're going to push back the Nami, it looks like, and plus the Zoro. Okay, swing for 7. Okay, swing for 11. Force the blocker out of the way. We have 2 life. Hey, we're safe now. We're safe now. They only have 2 Dawn this turn to work with because they've been aggressively using their leader effect. Yeah, I would just take it. Don't use the trigger. I guess we could have used the trigger to cycle. But, all right, so now it's our turn, and just go 15, I think, right? Let's just, what's going on here? Okay, let's see what's, I think we should just, yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, swing for 14. That should be a game. Very good. Very good game. Now, some interesting decisions there we have to talk about. So first, let's go back to this turn right here. Playing out on our turn 2 play, playing out the Lindbergh was the perfect play. A lot of people would have probably chosen the Kikinojo, which would not have been horrible. You could still use the Nami play I was saying at the beginning of this little, of the lab, where I was talking about my original play was to just remove the Black Maria with Nami, but playing out Lindbergh lets us just use the Lindbergh. So they're going to attack here. Okay, it looks like, oh, I have to go back even further. Hang on 1 second. I'm sorry. So right here, not counting out of this first attack here for 5, I don't know why we wouldn't. Like, I would have just given them I'd have given them the Onami, and then let them do this, drop us down to 3 life instead, because we'd have countered out aggressively. And then after that, let me keep going. So that was the first mistake I'd really try to be careful about. And I'm not even going to comment on the Kaido. They should not be using their leader effect in this way. It's why they were never able to catch back up. Because now don't get me wrong. Against a leader that can't gain life, maybe that strategy works, but Sabo's going to gain a life every single turn, starting on like turn 3. You know what I mean? So using that really aggressive strategy, going down to 0 Dawn, I think it's too dangerous if they pop your Black Maria. Now, right here, let's go. So swinging in here for 8, I think we should take this. We do, and we get the Cracker. Perfect. Okay, everything's perfect so far. Now, right here, since we did things the way we did, that's fine. We're down to 0 life, but check out this play real quick. If you attach 1 Dawn to the Cracker, we can swing for 7, double attack, and then he'll stay at 7 because our opponent will still have more life than us. Then we can attach it on to our leader, push the Cracker back, and give plus 2,000 to the Lindbergh, smashing for 7 with Lindbergh, popping the Black Maria. You see what I'm saying? And that was like the main one there. That right there, I think a lot of stuff snowballed from. Okay, but let's keep going. The other option is we could have used Nami to pop it, and then there was one other thing I wanted to talk about here. Oh, it was at this turn? Okay, yeah, I think it was this one. No, we popped that. We pushed the card back to life. We swing 11 with double attack. That was fine. Okay, and they're down to 2 life. Now, right here, they're going to swing for 6. They can't even swing into our Cracker is an 8,000 power character right now, guys. That's how solid he is in this situation. Okay, so right here. Now, I think we can actually just end the game. So hear me out. If we attach 3 Dawn to the Cracker in this board state, in the current board state, attach 3 Dawn to Cracker, swing for 9 with double attack. So they will lose their remaining 2 life cards. Or, here's the other situation. If we do that, remember, we have 8 Dawn this turn, right? Notice down here, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we load up 3 Dawn on Cracker, he swings for 9 because he gets plus 1,000 power because our opponent has more life than us. So he will come in for 9,000 power with double attack. If he takes it, he goes down to 0 life, and then we swing for 10 with our leader and take all the cards out of his hand and then push our Cracker back to life and set up lethal for next turn. He probably wouldn't even be able to counter out of that, but let's just say if he might have. However, let's say he counters out of our Cracker's attack for a double attack. Like say he gives us a 2k, and a 1k, which is what it would cost. He'd have 2 cards left in hand, right? No problem. We still have 5 Dawn left for the turn. okay, we could attach 1 Dawn to our leader and play out the Kikanojo, bouncing the Cracker back to life, and then swinging for 6 with our leader and going about things that way. There were quite a few ways to do that, but anyway, really good submission. I don't want to talk too much about it. Try to look for lethal, though. Always try to look for lethal, and don't forget what Cracker does. Do not forget what Cracker does. That effect is very strong. Okay, now, let's go ahead and check out some Enel. All right, give me just 1 second to get set up, guys. Let me move this over. Okay. Then we will hop over to this. I got to remove the that. Got to move my face over, and then we're good to go. Okay. Let me go full screen. All right. So, first things first here. I say that all the time, don't I? First things first. So let's go ahead and dive into it, to what's going on here. So if you go to OnePieceTopDecks.com, that's where I'm at right now, the website. This is the front page. If you click on deck list, we're going down to OP08, and we're going to check out from the west. Notice where I was, guys. State of the game, English format right here. Right? You see it right here? Now we are going to go to the west, and we're going to check out. We're looking for Enel, right? We're looking for games for Enel. So let's go sort by 100, and let's do deck profile Enel. Check this out, guys. Enel is not exactly popping off or anything like that right now, but I think the deck is still very powerful. I think it's still very solid. Now, we're not going to look at this 12-player event, but we are going to check out this 512-player event, a top 4 regional list out of Mexico here. Okay, so check this out, guys. This is the list. I'm going to first we'll read the leader, and then we'll run through it, okay? So this is the leader, 5,000 power, 4 life, even though he only has 1 color. He only has 1 color yellow, and he's still a 4-life leader. Why? Check out his effect. On your opponent's turn, once per turn, when your life hits 0, you may place the top card of your deck to your life and then discard 1 card from your hand. So, guys, that effect means he at least has 5 life, right? Bare minimum, he'll have 5 life. And then if he can survive for multiple turns on 1 life to keep getting this effect, he ends up being like a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 life leader. It ends up being really, really crazy. And that's what frustrates a lot of people, because as he's cycling through his life cards, he's getting access to more triggers, right? So now I'm going to run through the list and we'll talk about it. So running 2 Katakuris, 4 Capone Gang Beige. I'm going to click on each one of these if you need to pause and read what it does. Okay, guys? 4 Yamato, 2 Enel, the 7-cost Rush Enel, 4 Gadatsu, 4 Neko Mamushi. This is a very trigger-heavy version, looks like. Very aggressive, too. 4 Portgosti Ace, the 5-cost Rusher. Okay, it's also running 4 of the 10-cost Rusher as well. But we're not there. Well, actually, I might as well knock it out now, right? Running 4 of Ace, 4 Monkey D. Luffy. This is the 5-cost 6K, 1K counter, trigger, pop a 4 or less, activate main, pop a 4 or less, and draw a card if you have 2 or less life. Frankie, pause and read this if you don't know what it does. We're running 4 of these. Cards incredible, especially in this deck. And then we're running 4 Flampe, 4 of the new Nami. Pause and read this. We saw this in action in the lab. 4 of You're the One Who Should Disappear, and 2 Raigo. So 4 of every card. A very straightforward, solid, list. A very strong list. This card right here, make sure you pause and read this if you don't know what it does. Same thing with this card. Pause and read these if you don't know what they do. They're just extremely good at helping you sustain. Well, this one helps you get rid of big characters, but this one helps you just stay in the game, especially when you're down to Enel's last life card. Very, very powerful. Now, notice what we're running, guys. We're running a lot of removal. If you did not notice, so number 1, Yamato is removal. Gadatsu, removal. Neko Mamushi is removal. Trust me, if you don't know already, Neko Mamushi is definitely removal. Enel is even removal, guys. Rushing into a character that's sideways, that can act as removal. Luffy, removal. Nami, removal. Raigo, removal. If it doesn't have removal, then it has rush, and if it doesn't have rush, it's probably just a 2K counter. Like that's or it gains life, like in the case of Katakuri. That's all this list does, guys. That's all that this deck does. Very straightforward. Notice all the rush cards we're running. Oh, excuse me, guys. There was 2 Enels. Hang on 1 second. Oh, because there were 2 Katakuris, 2 Enels, and 2 Raigos. Everything else was a 4 of. Let me make sure. Yeah, 51 card list. Very good. Very good stuff there. And guys, this is just a really, really strong list. Enel is one of those decks, a lot of people consider it like a gatekeeper, because what it's doing with this leader effect here, saying like, okay, every time, the first time you try to take my life every turn, I'm literally just going to probably let you have it, unless it depends on the board state. But generally speaking, I'm going to let you do the first attack, and guess what? What if it's a trigger? What if it's one of these triggers? Do y'all see all the different triggers we could potentially get? Whoops. All the triggers we could potentially get. Like, you know, even Beige, pretty good trigger. What about Nami? Even this trigger can pop stuff, guys. This is basically Yamato in a trigger. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than you and your opponent's life, total life cards. So it just has so much removal, and it's trying to cycle through. And guys, one of the best triggers you can get is Frankie, because not only does it develop a body, it also draws you a card. So this card is outstanding, guys. It's so powerful, and it's a 2K counter. And it has trigger, like I said, because remember, guys, for those who are not aware, read this card very, very carefully. You have to have triggers in order to use this effect. Okay, and then look at the ace package it's running. It's running 4 of the 10 cost ace. It's running 4 of the 5 cost ace. So, oh yeah, I was going to say, look at all the rush cards we're running. We're running 2 Enels, 4 ace, and 4 ace. You know, 8 of the different aces, right? So that's 10 rush cards, and then all of the removal we looked at. And then, guys, in case you're wondering, a card that comes in from trigger, it basically has rush, because now it can attack, you know, on your next turn. If it came to play on your opponent's turn, it can attack now. Excuse me. Very good stuff here. And it has, let me see. I want to just look at the ratios real quick. So there are, all right, let me see. Counting Rygo, 2, 4, 6, 10, 14, 18. It looks like there's 18 bricks in the deck, but then it's running 4. You're the one who should disappear, which can turn 4 into, you know, not bricks, right? So it's not even running that many bricks, to be honest, guys. It's really not running that many. Now, I will show you guys the list that I'm running after we go through the games, but just kind of take a mental note of this one. If you want to try it out, hop over to OnePieceTopDecks.com and check it out for yourself there if you want to analyze it more and really study it. And then, but I'm going to show you guys a list today that's a little bit different. I'm not running the rush stuff. I'm just going to be honest. And I don't think it's bad. I don't think the rush stuff is bad at all. And guys, this card makes so much sense in Enel. It makes so much sense because you're going to sit around 1 or 2 life comfortably with your leader's effect. So essentially, this is just a 5 cost 7K rusher in that deck. It never does. You'll pretty much always be able to activate the on play effect, especially if you're aggressively taking 2K count or taking life with your 2K counters. Pause and read this card if you don't know what it does. Now, as far as 2K counters go, it's running 12 2K counters, and it's running 4 of the 0 cost 3Ks. So it is very defensive. It's also very aggressive, and it also has ways to gain life and outlast for a long time and go very, very tall, right? 8,000 power body, 9,000 power body, 10,000 power body. It can go very tall. It can go very fast, and it has lots of removal and lots of I can't talk right now. Lots of sustain. Now, let's go ahead and hop over to the sim. We've got some games to check out of me piloting a version of the deck, not what we just saw. Okay, let me make sure everything's set up. The volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and we're good to go. Actually, after I move my head back over here. All right, there we go. Whoops. Hang on, we'll fix that. To right there. Okay, good enough. Now, let's go ahead and hop into this game. So first up, we have the game versus Doflamingo, and this is OP08. So this is not like a souped-up Doflamingo list just yet, but guys, this list is very solid. This leader is very solid still. Doflamingo and Enel, both of them. Okay, so they're going to get to go first, and they're going to play out Perona, setting the top cards of their deck, right? The top 5 cards. They're going to play out a Doflamingo, excuse me, setting the top 5 cards of their deck again. I guess they did not like what they saw, and they're going to swing in for 5. Well, guys, with Enel, I aggressively take life. It's not super wise to do it against Doflamingo. Hang on one second, guys. Let me pause this. It's not super wise to take life aggressively against a blue deck because they might be running a card called Pudding that can just wreck your hand. It will just absolutely tear your hand apart. However, you can't. It's kind of hard to play around it, to be honest, and still be effective with what you're trying to do with the deck. Now, back to the game, though. I play out the 4-cost Frankie. That's just a 4-cost 5K vanilla body for the most part. It has no on-play effect. I'm trying to play around the Pudding as much as I can, while still also, you know, not throwing all my cards away and stuff like that. I want to force them to play Pudding. I guess that's the best way that's the best way I can say it. I want to force them into playing Pudding. Like, yeah, please play Pudding. It doesn't matter to me, because I'll just start drawing cards through my life interactions and things like that. Okay, now, so they're going to load up here and swing for, it looks like they're going to swing for 9, and let's see what they cheat into play. Whoops. They cheat out a Mihawk, and I take that life, and now I have a pretty horrible hand, right? I mean, it's not horrible. If I can make it to next turn in a healthy spot, I'll be playing, you know, huge, you know, boss after boss after boss. Okay, going to swing 6 into 7. They let it survive, so I pop it with Gidatsu. Gidatsu is very strong, guys. Gidatsu is very strong. It looks like they're really looking for something. They're really digging for a card. So they went through a Perona top 5 search, and this is their second Doflamingo top 5 search. Okay, they set a Gecko there. I think they grabbed a 2K counter back from their trash. And here we go. I'm going to swing 5 into 5. I'm just going to keep eating cards up from their hand. I just don't care. So I'm going to swing 6 into there. I'm going to push that Gecko Moria right to the top of their life. It's fine with me, because now that they're at 5 life, my Yamato, which might be coming down next turn, will be able to hit. Currently, my Yamato can hit an 8 cost character. Okay, it will still be able to hit a 7 cost character. Okay, it will be able to hit a 7 cost character right now, and if I lose a life this turn, it can still hit a 6 cost character. Excuse me. Okay, 9 into 6, and then they're going to play out the Gecko Moria. Seems good. I think they grabbed back a 2K counter or something. I'm not sure. With the Gecko Moria effect. And now they have 4 Dawn left. They're going to play out the Mihawk. Very nice. And now in this situation right here, I think I just keep eating up their board. Right? We'll just go 5 into the board. See if he takes this. 2K counter. We'll swing 8 into 5. And now I'm going to play out the Flampe. Taking my top life. Hang on, guys. So there was a lot going on there in that play. So I had 2 life. Right? So what I chose to do was to play out my Flampe, which is a 1 cost 2K counter. It has an on play to take the top or bottom card of your life and then draw a card. So you basically gain 2 cards in your hand. Well, you technically go up 1. It is a +1 because you're playing out the Flampe and then you're drawing 2 cards. So it's a +1. And on top of that, what's happening is I'm going down to 1 life. Now I can play out my Yamato, which says if I have 1 or less life, I can gain a life card. And, well, first of all, it KOs based off of how much life you and your opponent have. Then it gains a life. It doesn't do it after. So, yeah, it gains the life. Excuse me, it gains the life after. Sorry, that was clumsy, guys. Bear with me. The Yamato gains life after, but it pops based off based off how many life cards you and your opponent have. So I was able to pop a 4-cost character easily with the Yamato and still gain the life because of the Flampe effect. Very brutal interaction there for my opponent. Let's see how they bounce back from it. Swinging for 5. Okay, maybe they're going to play out a 10-cost Kaido or something. Okay, I get a Shirahoshi, draw 3, trash 2. All right, so we trash the Bonnie and a 0-cost card. And let's see what they do now. They hit me with a pudding. Okay, so that did hurt. But at the same time, I am in a commanding position this game. Now, I did get another Yamato from the pudding. Seems good. We'll swing for 5. We'll swing for 9. And now they are in trouble. Okay, and that's putting it mildly, right? That's putting it in, you know, the most polite terms possible. They are in a lot of trouble right here. They're going to set their top 5 cards with Perona. I've got 5 cards in hand. If they want to pudding me again, I will be pretty happy about that. Because notice what pudding is on the board right now. Pudding's nothing. It's a 4-cost character, 4-cost 4K character. So they have to load up just to attack with it. So swing for 7. I'm going to gladly take this first one, I think. Okay, we get a beige, and I'm going to make it where I think I use this to shut down the pudding. I could be wrong. No, I don't. I don't use it. They play out Boa. They make it where my Yamato cannot attack, and then they bottom deck one of their cards or something. I don't know. One of the 1-cost cards. Okay, so we're going to swing 5 into the Jinbei, 8 into Jinbei. I'm just eating up cards from their hand, eating up their board. And guys, now it's time to just... I was going to say, what do I do here? Do I actually play out the... I'd be very surprised if I play out the Nami here. I think it'd be better to just slam ace, right? Yeah, just swing 9, slam ace, and call it a day. Oh, I can't swing with the other Yamato because it cannot attack from the Boa effect. Okay, your turn. You have to get through 3 life minimum. Right, okay, yeah, so that's game. So once they swung for 5 with the pudding, they can't swing for 4 attacks this turn unless they're running like Rush Usopp or something, and they go ahead and tap out. There was nothing they could do there, guys. They have a card in Gravity Blade Raging Tiger that cannot hit anything relevant on my board. If you want to use it to get rid of my Shirahoshi, be my guest. And then they have a bunch of cards. Giving their cards unblockable does not matter much when I have a way to gain life with the way Enel does. Okay, really good stuff there. So that's the first game against Doffy. Okay, next game we got against ST14. I call him BLaffy. Speed 2x, but I don't know what people are calling him. Hang on, did I Did it actually click? It did. Okay, and the volume's off. Yeah. All right, so here we go. So I got to go first here. Whatever. I think they chose to go first. I had to pause it real quick. So I think I chose to go first in this situation. No, never mind. I would have definitely chosen to go second, I think. I don't even know, guys. Whatever the case is, I had to go first. Turn 1 pass. Turn 2, develop Bonnie. Swing 5. They take it, going down to 4 life. And now it's on their 4 Dawn turn. Let's see what they choose to do here. They're going to swing 5, so they're clearly trying to play out a 4 cost. It's Kuzan. I've got bad news for him. Popping it with a Gadatsu. That card's outrageously good in this deck, guys. That's my favorite expression, right? Favorite saying. Outrageously good. Okay, they're going to play out a Sabo. That's basically just a total passing of the turn. Okay, I take that hit for 6, and now I get to do whatever I want here. We're going to swing for 7. That's going to be a 2K, 1K, or a blocker. Okay, or it could have been a blocker and a 2K, I guess, technically. I think I'm going to play out the Onami here. Yep, give my leader Banish, and then we're going to swing for 7. They give me the blocker, and then I'm going to swing for 6. They give me a 2K counter. Okay, they just gave me their entire hand so that I couldn't draw 2, trash 1, but hey, I don't really care about that, right? I'm doing fine. So they do hit a, okay, so they played out the 8 cost, what's his name, Sabo there. They popped my Gadatsu and my Joribani, but hey, it is what it is. So then they hit my life there, and I do take it, and it was a draw 2, trash 1 trigger from a Bonnie. Okay, so right here I have 9 Dawn. We'll swing for 6, and you ready for this? We're just going to push this card back to life and gain a life and sit comfortably at 2. Now they have to attack first, which is not a big deal. Okay, so right here they did reduce... Oh, they used an Ice Age to lower the cost of my Katakuri. They're going to swing in. Okay, so a mistake was made. Got to bust out the accuracy meter in my game here for my opponent. So let's go back just a little bit here. For anyone who's trying to get better against Enel, let me show you a play you should absolutely never do, not even one time. I would almost consider it a blunder, but I think a mistake would be a little nicer to say. So watch this. I'm at 2 life. I take that hit. Now they're going to swing 9 into me when I only have 1 life left. This is an absolute mistake every single time because, watch this, my leader effect will let me gain a life for free. Right? So I draw a card from my life. I take my life card, and then I trash a card. I cycled out a card at worst, right, to gain another life. At best, I could get a trigger from this. So let's see what happens. In this situation here, they attack. Oh, Shirahoshi trigger. I'll draw 3, trash 2. And then I will trash another card to gain a life with my Enel. Now, they're in a situation. Now they're in a very sticky situation here because of what they did. We're going to go ace, swing 10 into 9. He lets it go. So he has no counter power, right? He has absolutely no counter power, maybe a 1K. We swing for 5. He takes it. Now what does he do? He plays out a Gecko Moria. Well, how are you going to deal with my ace? How are you going to do? Oh, sorry, guys. I forgot to take the accuracy meter down. Forgot to take down the accuracy meter. But how are they going to deal with my ace now? But again, guys, do not attack. Okay, so watch this. They do it again here. They swing for 5. Okay, I get an a Nami trigger. So I'm going to pop a 5,000 power, a cost 5 or lower character here. So watch this. Use the effect. And I go ahead and trash a card with a trigger. I can't decide between the two because I can hit either one. Now, there we go. There's a mistake again, guys. There's a mistake again. So watch this. Remember, they attacked in right here. I have 2 life, right? So I have not used my leader effect for the turn. They're going to attack in with Sanji. I take it. I get a trigger. It's the Nami. And I'm going to pop the card like we already saw. Now, watch this. Right here, you can't attack anymore. Like, if you attack me, because remember, he can't attack with Gecko Moria. He played that this turn. If he attacks with his leader, I get a free cycle. And watch what he gives me. So I pop his character. He swings for 7. Okay, I get a Frankie. So that's going to be draw 1 card, play out the body, and I still get to gain a life. So again, when Enel is at 1 life and you only have 1 attack left, sorry, there goes that attack. Speaking of that, since he only was going to be able to have 1 attack, he should have attacked with his leader first. Period. Like, in a discussion, that's what he should have done. Okay, well, here, the game's not over yet. I'm going to swing 6 into 4. He lets it go. I'm going to swing 10 into 6. I think I'm going to swing 5 into 3 first. I should have swung 5 into 3 first. Oh, just kidding. I was going to pop that with my Yamato. Okay, I cannot swing with a Frankie because the leader was at 6,000 power. So again, I'm literally just controlling the board right now. I'm not in a rush to win this game, right? Because I can gain a life almost every turn, right? Okay, so they hit me for that. Now, again, why are we swinging? Why are they swinging when I can just cycle out for new triggers? It just doesn't make sense to me, guys. That is a massive, massive play mistake people make against Enel. Okay, and if you have any questions about that, please ask in the comment section below, and I can try to explain it a little better down there. Okay, so here we go. My turn still. Oh, man, and then we get another ace. Guys, watch this, man. This is just brutal to watch, to be honest. So swing 5 into that. We'll swing 10 into 9. He'll probably give me a 2K counter. Okay, he does. Play out ace to gain a life. 10 into 9. Gives me another 2K counter. Your turn. Okay, what did they just do? They played out an E-show. I lost 2 cards. It was a Nami and something else. Not a big deal. And I don't see how they're supposed to win here, guys. I just don't see how they're supposed to do it. Okay, you're not getting my characters. I 1K counter out of that. 2K counter out of this. You're not getting my big characters unless you have removal. They swing in. I get a Frankie trigger, and this is a bad place to be for my opponent. I'm going to swing for bare minimum 6s into 6, so he has to give me a card every time. And okay, now it's game over. We're going to go 8 into here. We'll go, and then we'll just go 10s across the board, I think. I could have technically played out the Luffy there to pop his Onami, or excuse me, his Nami, Rebecca. I can't even talk right now. I could have just played out the 5 cost Luffy to pop the Rebecca. There's no way to get out of this situation he's in. Good game there. That was a fun one, though. Guys, again, if there's anything to be learned, never attack into Enel when he has 1 life left if you only have the 1 attack. Unless, again, like I said, if the leader effect's already been used for the turn, then you should absolutely attack to get him down to 0 life, right? If you can get him down to 0, you're good. But if they have 1 life left, guys, I even say I wouldn't even attack into them if they have 2 life left, unless you could do massive damage on the turn. Okay, we got one more game, guys. We got one more game. And then I will show you the version of the list that I'm running. Okay, speed is 2x, and here we go. We got a game against Lucci, and this is all OP08. Like I said, guys, not OP08.5, so the Doffy was a little bit, he was a little bit handicapped in that matchup because he did not have full access to his cards, but hey, it is what it is. We don't have access to him yet in the West. So they're going to swing 5 in here. I do a very aggressive flampe. Okay, pause. They do a Spandam search. Lucci went first. They played out Spandam on turn 1. Turn 2, they're going to swing in for 5, fill up their trash with their leader effect, and they have 3 Dawn left. It's probably going to be a Brook, which will pop my flampe. My turn 1, by the way, I played out flampe, taking my top life card, which allowed me to draw 2 cards, and then I'm fine with taking life. I want to sit at 1 life. That's where I'm chilling. That's where I'm chilling at, right? All right. So here we go. I'm going to swing in for 5. Okay. And I play out the Frankie. Guys, that's a card where it's like, if it's in your hand, why not just play it out? What else are you going to do on your turn 2 play when you're going second like this? What else are you going to do? I guess you could technically sit on 2K counters, but check this out. They swing in for 5. Oh, what's this? I get another Frankie. That's why I was aggressively taking life, guys, so that way I can really fight into this Lucci. He might be able to deal with it either way. It looks like he's going to play out a Rob Lucci, a 4-cost Lucci. Swinging 5 into 5. I'll absolutely take this, because I haven't used my leader effects yet. Oh, perfect. I'll pop the Brook. I'll trash a card to gain a life. Your turn. And he uses the Frankie. Or excuse me, he uses the Lucci. He's going to pop the Frankie. And now it's my turn. I'm on 6 Dawn. Well, guess what? It's pretty much too late for my opponent, right? Because right here, I'm going to go to 2 life every turn for about 6 turns in a row. Like after going down life. Okay, so I popped the Lucci with the Nami. And notice I'm not swinging. Nope, I'm not going to swing. You're going to have to use your removal on my guys. And bad news, if you're using all your removal on these little guys, I've got some massive characters coming up for you. You're about to really enjoy. Okay, we got an Onami trigger there. I don't take it. What just happened? Did I lose a hang on 1 second. Sorry guys, I missed that. So right here. Oh, I used the leader effect to gain a life. And then he plays out the Who's Who to pop my Frankie. That was very wise, because I was going to push that back with a Katakuri. That's absolutely what was going to happen. So right here, I think I should swing first with the Nami, because I think what I'm going to do is gain life. At first, I was considering, should I KO the Who's Who? And it's like, why would I? I'll swing 5 at life. We'll get a card out of hand or a card from life. Now I'll swing 5 more. I technically should have played out the Katakuri first, but he has nothing. Unless he was running Shigan Finger Pistol, he couldn't have popped my Nami anyway. Play out the Katakuri. We're back up to 2 life, and I've got an 8K body on the board. I've got 8 cost, 8,000 power body on the board. Your turn. And he's been using his cost reduction pretty aggressively to get rid of my characters. Absolutely, we're going to take this, and we're going to pop that card with it. Your turn. I'm just removing everything on his board with the removal and attacking into it. I'm trying to go like a very high value game plan where I establish these bigger and bigger bodies over the course of the game that become harder and harder to deal with. Okay, so he's going to -1 to my Katakuri. I use my leader effect, so that was a mistake. Hang on, it does have to be said. Okay, let's go back a little ways here. Okay, let's just call it what it is. Just rack it up as a loss for the turn. I do not think he should have even swung with the Who's Who because he needed the cost reduction from the Lucci, I think, and filling up his trash. So I think he should have swung 5 with the Lucci. I would take it and pop his Who's Who, right? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. But instead, like, I know it seems like that's a misplay, but here's the thing. Since he did it like this, I took that hit, and I took the hit from Lucci, and I got to cycle through my deck and look for the cards I need as triggers. So, it's just never worth attacking into the Enel when they have 1 life left. So he does use a Tempest Kick to remove my Katakuri. I'm going to swing for 5. I have 10 life this turn. Or, 10 Dawn. I do not have 10 life. I have 2 life now because of Ace. I'm going to swing for 10,000. Your turn. I have another Ace coming in next turn. And if I need it, I have Katakuri. I can push back a, what's his name? A Gecko Moria if necessary. Swing for 6. I'm going to take it every time. I'll use this on the Brook. That's fine. We'll use that anyway. Okay, just in case, whatever. We'll do that in case he was trying to load up for everything this turn. I don't think he was. It's whatever in that situation. I think I should have kept the 2K counter, though, looking back, because then I could have cycled another card if he chose to attack. Okay, so here we go. My turn. And I think right here, I'm just like, dude, I'm just gonna run you over. That's the situation we're in right now. It's like, hey man, I think I'm just gonna run you over. Watch, I really considered like, okay, do I do a cute play here? Hang on, guys. Sometimes we try to do fancy plays. Why? In what world is that the right call? Why don't I just swing for 5, removing a card from his hand? He goes down to 5 cards in hand, and then I swing for 10 at his face. He has no life left. I have removal in my hand. And now he has to remove my character and play a blocker or it's game over, right? And you just like put your opponent under that kind of pressure. And look, I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, okay, do I? And it wouldn't be a misplay. I could try a fancy play here. It's not the end of the world. But it's like, no, why would I? Swing 5. You give me a 1K counter or a 2K. Gives me a 1K. Play out Ace. Gain a life. Smash his brains in here. Just smash. And I think I should even... There's even a thought of should I go into the Jack or not, right? Just... Honestly, I think going into the Jack might have been the safer play, but I'm out of rush cards. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to force my opponent to have everything he needs right here. In these 7 cards, right, he got up to 6 cards in his hand from his life card, and he drew a card for the turn. He has 7 cards. He has 10 Dawn. He has no blocker. I can come in for 15 right here. He has to establish a blocker. He has no other choice, and he also has to remove my character. He's going to play out Gecko Moria, but he did not do an Ice Age first. This does not look good for my opponent. -3 on my Ace. What does that matter? Like I said, now, I mean, I guess he could technically use like Ice Age now and use his what's his name? The Jack. But let's see what he chooses to do. Oh, I remember how this game ends. I'm not going to spoil it. This is an interesting end. It's coming up. But guys, this is what is so crazy about Enel. It's what people can't stand. Watch this. Okay, I'll take it. All right, we get a beige. All right, I'll make it where you're actually, this time I do it correctly. I'm like, nope, I'm going to let him attack. Watch this, guys. He attacks. What could my last... Look, he was like, maybe I should attack. Maybe I shouldn't attack. He shouldn't have attacked, okay? It's a Luffy. Pop the card. He's just going to quit because the game's over now. Now I can just swing 15 at face even if he can pop my character. That is disgusting. I understand. But attacking right there was a mistake. There was no reason to attack me at 1 life. Attacking me down to 1 life is like, okay, that's, it's a little bit dangerous, but it's not the end of the world. But attacking me when I'm at 1 life as Enel and you have no other attacks to follow up, are you just trying to give me free triggers? I don't understand. Are you trying to let me fix my hand? I don't know. You guys tell me. Okay, now let's go ahead and check out the deck list. And if you guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below, guys. I really enjoyed this list for like how strong it is. And this is the list that I'm running, by the way. But guys, because this list, you know, used to be meta, I can't play it. You guys know me. I can only play off meta. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, this is a list that is very strong. If you're a good pilot and you know what you're doing, if you're a good player, you've been playing TCGs for a long time, this is a great deck for you to play and to absolutely run over locals with, guys. This is one of those lists that I feel like this list can really bully at locals. I mean, you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. If you disagree, that's fine. But yeah, let me run through the list real quick and we'll talk more about it. Oh, and I was going to say one more thing before we go. I almost didn't finish my thought. If you're like a good player, you can easily run over locals with this deck. But if you're like a new player, this is a great deck to play if you're a new player. The only thing that's bad about this deck, there's only one negative aspect of this deck, and it's that this card is very expensive. But hey, see if you can borrow this deck, and so is this card, guys. Like these two cards right here, they're pretty expensive. I'm going to be honest, guys. It is what it is. Everything else is relatively cheap and affordable. Like the Namis, I think, have been going down in price. I haven't checked lately, actually. I'll just bring it up right now. I'm sorry, guys. Like right in the middle of this, I got to bring it up because I need to know as well. Okay, so Nami currently, at the time you're recording this, yeah, it's down to $4. It's down like $4 or $5 for the card. So like everything else in this list is relatively affordable except Katakuri. Okay, which, again, I will at least, since I have TCG Player up over here, I'm at least going to read it to y'all, what it costs currently. And this is U.S. price. Sorry for the international players. Katakuri's down to $30 right now, guys. This card is dropping, and that is a good thing. And then 10 cost Ace. I think that's probably because this list is not doing very well. And then we got a Port Goss. It'll find it from there, I think. And then the 10 cost, this card, guys, this secret rare, this is down to about $16 U.S. dollars. It's about 16 to 17 bucks. Still pricey, but think about it. That really drops the price down. But anyway, other than that, guys, every other card here is pretty affordable from what I've seen. And that's the only downside to this list. If you're a newer player, it's a little pricey. Because think about it. Okay, a play set of these Katakuris, that's going to be $100. A little more, probably around, what I say, it was around 27 bucks right now. So actually a little, about $110, $115. Probably 100, let's call it 120 after tax. And then for your aces, this card was, I have it up over. What was it? It was, this card is 16 bucks. Let's just call it $100 after tax. So it would be like $200 for these two play sets, and that is brutal. A lot of people can't afford that, especially trying to get into a new game, and I get that. But other than that, guys, like this list, it pumps. It really pumps. Now, what I'm running, I'm not running the rush package. I'm running a little more of the utility. Like, I'm running a lot of removal. I could go up removal. I'm only running 2 Gadatsus. I am running 3 Raigos, 4 Nami. I keep saying Nami. They keep tricking me. Only 2 of the 5 cost Rocket Boots Luffy. But, guys, with the 4 Shirahoshis in here, and I am running the 4 Bonnies, I feel like I just draw cards all day. I feel like I'm drawing cards all day. And these cards are not safe on the board. If you think, like, okay, well, it's just a 3 cost 4K. It's not, you know, it's not really dangerous. Yeah, it might not be dangerous, but bad news. Once I get the effect from it that I need, swinging out however I need to, I can just push it right back to life with my my Katakuri. Seems good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, let me run through the list now. So 4 Flampe, 4 Shirahoshi, 4 Katakuri, 4 Beige, 4 Yamato, 2 Gadatsu, 3 Onami, 4 Frankie, 2 Rocket Boots Luffy, 4 of the 10 cost Ace. I'm not running the 5 cost Ace. 4 Jory Bonnie, 4 Nami, 3 Raigo, or Kingdom Come, I think is the technical translation, and then 4 of You're the One Who Should Disappear. I'm not opposed to the 5 cost Ace. I don't think it's bad at all. I don't think there's anything wrong with the card. However, I will say this. I prefer, I don't know, let me say this. I would not mind going up 1 or 2 of them. Like, I would not mind adding the 5 cost Ace to the deck. This card right here. I think this would be a decent addition. As like a 1 or a 2 of. Like maybe I would drop 1 Raigo and maybe I would drop a Shirahoshi and then go up 2 aces. However, I do like, you have to be very careful with the ratios now that we're running a card like Nami, because in order to do this on play effect, you have to trash a card with trigger. Well, if I go down 2 trigger cards, like down 1 Raigo and down 1 Shirahoshi, it does mess a little bit with the ratios in the list. I'm not saying it won't work. I haven't tested it, but I'm saying you have to be very careful of that. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind going down 1 Raigo. I'll say that right away. I think 3 Raigo is kind of pushing it, and 2 might be the magic number for that card. 4, You're the One Who Should Disappear for sure, because we're running Yamatos, Katakuris, and Aces. we're running so many. Actually, we're not running that many bricks. I think we're running 15. 4, 8, 12, 15. Yeah, so we're only running 15 bricks, even less than the other deck we saw, because the other list we saw was running, I think it was 4 of these aces, and it was also running 2 of the 7-cost Enel. Not a bad card. Speaking of 7-cost cards, Charlotte Linlin, also not a bad card. There is a lot of flexibility in the Enel list nowadays. At least I think there is. Like, you can move around certain cards, like maybe go up 2 Linlins or do the 2 Enels like we saw in today's list, or even run the 5-cost ace here. I think there is room for that in the list, for sure. There's definitely room for it. But I'm just going to say this, guys. This list was performing very well. I've been trying to tell you guys I'm trying to remember at the end of every video. I didn't do it on the last video on Shanks, but I'm trying to. Okay, how do I say this? People always want to ask how my win to loss ratio was when playtesting this. This deck, I loaded up 3 games and won 3 games. It was Doffy, Lucci, and SC14 Luffy. This list is just very, very strong, guys. If you know what you're doing, if you know the game well, I think you're going to do very well with this deck. And on top of that, if your opponent does not know how to play against this guy right here, Enel, you are going to punish him. And I mean, it's one of those decks where you can really see a difference in like, how do I say this? I don't want to say in player skill. I'll just leave that there. All I'm going to say is this. This leader is a very punishing leader against new players. Excuse me, or against just newer players who don't quite know how to play against it yet. And it's great to learn with. It's great to master and get stronger and get better with, because there is plenty of room for very high level plays, guys. Like hopefully people saw in the game. I think it was against the Blue Doflamingo where I went, okay, I have 2 life left. Okay, well, all right, now we have Yamato. We can read the card. It says, on play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost that is equal to or less than the total life of you and your opponent. So you're going to KO first, then you're going to gain a life. Notice it says, then if you have 1 or less life, you may add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to your life area. Well, I had 2 life when I went to use this effect. So it's like, okay, well, I'm kind of wasting what the card does. Well, guess what? If I have 10 Dawn, which I had, 1 Dawn for Flampe to go down to 1 life in that situation, and then play out the Yamato to gain the life back, pop the card still, and I just gained a life. I basically just drew 2 cards with this effect. You know, very, very powerful effect. So there is plenty of room for outplaying, and there's also plenty of room for, like I said, okay, or I didn't really capitalize on it. When Enel first came out, I think the list was pretty set in stone. I don't want to say set, but it had a very specific amount of cards it could use properly and get full value from. Well, now, guys, we have access to cards like Bonnie, Nami, the new Ace. You know, this came out in OP07, but still, it's a pretty new card for us still in the West. And we also have cards like Frankie, Luffy. Like, we can do so much more now. And then in OP09, we'll have to see, guys. A card that I'm considering in every single yellow list from now on. If your deck's running yellow, this might just be an auto-include. It just does too much what we're trying to do. I don't know. Especially in conjunction with this package right here, where it's like, okay, we have our Bonnie, we have our Nami. These are both trigger cards. They both do incredible things for the deck. And guess what this does? Okay, this is also a trigger card, so we can trash it with Nami later in the game. So that way, even if they have 3 or less, even if they have less than 3 life where we can't get full value, okay, no problem. Play out a Nami to pop their 5-cost or lower character, trashing the Nico Robin from our hand. Perfect. Yes, and then it's still a 1k counter. And on top of that, you know, it's just, I don't know, the synergy is just really, really solid there. Because here's the other thing. For those who are not aware, notice what Bonnie says. Okay, Dawn times 1. So attach 1 Dawn to your leader. Let's say it's a 7 Dawn turn, and our opponent has like 3 life. Let's just say our opponent has 3 life, and we have a 7 Dawn turn, and we have Bonnie on the board. We attach 1 Dawn to the Bonnie. Your turn, once per turn, when your opponent loses a life, draw 2 cards and discard 1 card from your hand. Okay, well, when we play this card out and they have 3 or more life, guess what? Our opponent loses a life card, right? Because if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, trash up to 1 of the top cards of your opponent's life. There we go. So we play this out. They lose a life. We draw 2, trash 1. We have a 6-cost, 6k on the board. We still have our attack with Nico Robin, or excuse me, with Jory Bonnie, our leader. It just seems so good, guys. This card, this card is absolutely insane, at least in my personal opinion. I really love what this card does. Maybe it's just because I'm a yellow player. I don't know. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. I'm just rambling at this point. Hope y'all enjoyed. Let me get up the leaderboard here, or no, not that. Excuse me, the playmat page. Okay, big shout out to everybody who supports this channel, guys. If you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing to help the channel out, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. If you have bought the playmat, I hope you're enjoying that. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel in that way. To all the VV Pirates Playmat supporters, thank you guys so much. And last but not least, of course, patrons here, people who are just donating to the channel to help me out. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm done. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to put them in the comment section below. And hope you guys enjoyed. All right, till next time, guys. Peace.